Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're getting some more Great League Go Battle League battles. Yes, you heard that correct. We have entered the portion of the season where all three, really four, should have been five leagues have come back to Pokemon Go Battle League PvP. And the reason why I said should have been five is because Ultra League Premier, for whatever reason, didn't make the cut when bringing back all leagues for this portion of the season. So we have Great League, regular Ultra League, regular Master League, and Master Premier. I'm not really sure why. No, Ultra Premier, I definitely would, it would have been nice if it was included. It was definitely my second favorite league underneath Great. So my intentions going forward for the next 2 weeks are probably focusing specifically on Great League for that reason. If Ultra Premier was there, maybe I would have done a little bit there, but oh well, it's very unfortunate. Let me know what your preferred league is, and if you're feeling a little upset that Ultra Premier isn't one of them, I could understand your frustration. But either way, you know the deal when it comes to the Battle Build channel. Every time Great League is an option and it's that first day back, my Mudboys are back in town. So we got a first set of this, well, not season, first set of this portion of the season, and I'm going back to Skarmory, Double Mudboys. I'm doing it for the entire day. One set for this video, the rest of the sets were on Twitch. Check me out there. My rating has tanked quite a little bit since hitting rank 10, and that's because on the Twitch streams we've been having some real hype streams, trying out a bunch of different spice options like Bravery, like Darmanitan. I tried Chandelure for a set. What else did I try? Actually on stream, I just did Suicune in Great League, so we've really been messing around, so it's time to make some of that ELO back. Either way, before we jump to these battles, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's see how the Mudboys are doing at this portion of the Season 3 season. That was a weird way to put it, but let's get into these battles. You already know the strat, you already know the team. The only real difference these days, and this kind of happened in the beginning of Season 3, is that Skarmory is running Brave Bird instead of Flash Cannon. It still has Air Slash as a quick move, still has Sky Attack as a charge move. Swampert's running Mud Shot, Hydro Cannon, Sludge Wave, and Whiscash is running Mud Shot, Mud Bomb, and Blizzard. So just getting into this first match, I'm going to give the play-by-play. Let's see how my first Mudboy set goes back into the Great League portion of the season. We got a Skarmory on, well, Great League, all the League portion of the season, you know what I mean. Skarmory on Umbreon lead here, and the way I like to play this out, because I've just played this team so much, is I like for the Umbreon to throw 2 foul plays at my Skarmory, and I like to leave with a Sky Attack loaded since I've already thrown one. But they over-farmed quite a bit. They're actually at 2 foul plays right now. They're going to throw it. Switch menus up, I'm going to go into Swampert, and they're going to throw the second one, and I'm going to catch on Swampert, which is fine. The foul play doesn't really hurt that much. He could tank it, and just in case it's a grass type, don't want to use a shield. They swap in a Hypno, and I'm like, alright, that's not exactly a hard counter for my Swampert, and that essentially tells me there's no grass types in the back, which means I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. My Skarmory's got a bunch of energy. That Umbreon's energy is pretty much gone at this point, and the Umbreon's low. I also was able to get the 2 Hydro Cannons before this Hypno can do anything, and I'm really not too worried about getting switch advantage, so I got those 2 Hydro Cannons through, and I'm cool with whatever charge move this is coming through. Not gonna shield it, because Skarmory can come back in and just farm more off of the Hypno. The issue is that Ice Punch didn't take me out, so hopefully they don't get to a Thunder Punch when my Skarmory comes in, if they're even running it. Got their Hypno down, waiting for their Umbreon to come back in. I'm literally at 2 Sky Attacks. We're going to throw them back to back. Most likely getting a shield with one of them. If not, it'll put this Umbreon really low. Puts it really low. They swap into Toxicroak. Great play by them, but they didn't realize how much energy my Skarmory was able to farm up. And plus, I got a Mudboy in the back that will handle this Toxicroak no problem, especially with this shield advantage. So at this point, this is pretty much GG. My opponent here is going to continue playing out the match, though. They're going for a charge move, should be a Mud Bomb. Is a Mud Bomb. I shield. Rather be safe, not going to take any chances. Just going to farm up the 2 Mud Bombs so I can fire them off back to back. Get the shield, take out the Toxicroak, do whatever I got to do here. Let's see what they decide to do. They decide not to shield. The Mud Bomb takes out the Toxicroak. Umbreon comes in, and I'm like, you know what? Let's farm up 2 more Mud Bombs again. One will get the shield, the other one will take out the Umbreon. So let's see what my opponent decides to do. Maybe they realize their fate is a little sealed here. Take out the Umbreon, and we win our first match back with the Mudboys. Alright, getting into this next match, we're going against Tito2909. Let's see what the leads are going to be. We got a Skarmory on Tropius lead. Looks awesome at first glance, but we know they're going to swap out. So they go for the safe swap into their Sableye, and that causes a bit of an issue for me. Sableye does essentially, not really counter, but it does a good job as a safe swap against my safe swap of Swampert, especially because since they swap first, they get the first Shadow Claw through. I go for a Hydro Cannon, they let it through, and they play a bit of a mind game on me, and this is major props to my opponent because they play this well. They're going for their first charge move, Foul Play. I don't want to take it because then I might be in Shadow Claw range, but I'm assuming that they had no energy. Or not no energy, but not enough for another Foul Play. They get off another one, and I force myself to shield here because it'll get me low enough where they'll be able to Shadow Claw me down, and if they decide to shield a Hydro Cannon, they might be able to Shadow Claw me down before I'm able to Mud Shot their Sableye down. So that's what I was worried about, and now I'm at 2 shield to no shield deficit, and that's a problem even though I was able to keep switch. So I'm going to go for a Sludge Wave here. I'm not really expecting this to get shielded because of the fact that the Skarmory is just going to completely wall their Tropius, and then I'm just gonna go for a Hydro Cannon here because I'm not gonna be able to get to another charge move before their Tropius essentially could Air Slash down my Swampert. I do get their Tropius really low, and what I should have really done there was I really should have gone into Whiscash. I went into Skarmory because Skarmory has a bit of a better play against Azu, but then that kind of just lines up my Whiscash with their Tropius, and as much as it's really low, I guess a Mud Bomb could take it out at that health, but still, it wasn't ideal, and that Tropius has a bunch of energy to just Leaf Blade, which would one-shot my Whiscash. So that was another mistake on my part. Not having that shield was huge because they were able to get a whole Hydro Pump through there. And as much as I'm able to throw 2 Sky Attacks here and get the first shield, and I don't think they shield this one. Let's see what they do. They do double shield, my bad. They double shield my Sky Attacks. Now they're going to be able to bubble me down. I'm hoping I can at least get to 1 more Sky Attack, and I am able to get to 1 more Sky Attack before they bubble me down, but because it's not going to do enough to Azu, they're going to have a Hydro Pump ready for my Whiscash. So they bubbled me down. I tried to swap into Swampert because I didn't remember how much health it had. I was hoping they might chuck their charge move, and they just end up bubbling down the Swampert, and honestly, it was just a really wonky play. There was no need for it. Regardless, though, they were going to get the Hydro Pump off on my Whiscash. There was really nothing too neat. I guess what I really could have done there, and here comes a Tropius, so I'm just kind of like thinking, because I misplayed this match, my opponent played it really well, but what I could have done was let Skarmory go down, bring in Whiscash, and then try to do the really quick swap to catch a Hydro Pump, and that would have been my only real play. But then even if I did that, the Tropius comes in, 1 Leaf Blade takes out my Whiscash. So really well played by my opponent there, and a misplay by me for bringing in Skarmory against Azu instead of the Whiscash there. Alright, getting into this third match of the set, we're going up against Kylo Renfernape. That's a really clever name. I think I've definitely played him before. I think I've seen him on Twitter, pretty well known. So getting into this next match, we got a Skarmory on Skarmory matchup here, and this one's annoying. So I have a plan, but it's hard to kind of stick to the plan, and I'll explain why in a second. The plan is to throw a Sky Attack and then farm up to another Sky Attack and dip and let their Skarmory throw 2 Sky Attacks at my Skarmory. The issue is, notice how my opponent's still not throwing their Sky Attack. So that becomes the issue. Skarmories just love to farm to 100 energy because they can tank each other's moves, so they like to farm up, and then in case you swap, they'll have energy to then deal with whatever that swap in is. So I understand the logic and why they're not throwing. I'm just starting to get increasingly frustrated that they haven't thrown, so I can stick with my plan. Instead, we're going by their plan, essentially. So I get their Skarmory in the red, and I'm pretty much at another Sky Attack, so I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I guess I'll just throw another one because this will force a shield or take out your Skarmory since you want to just keep it in here with all this energy. So I got their shields, and now they're throwing a move, and I still have to worry about a potential grass type in the back. So as much as my Skarmory stuck around too long, I shield. It was clutch. They threw a Brave Bird. We both simultaneously swap, and I have a Swampert on Azu matchup in the 1 shield. And what I need to do here is land the Sludge Wave. Now I could bait, try to get the shields, or people could expect the bait, and I could just go straight for the nuke and land the Sludge Wave just like that. So that works out nicely. Swampert's essentially done his job by landing that Sludge Wave, so I have no intentions of shielding this move. Doesn't end up being a Hydro Pump, ends up being a Play Rough, which works out better for me because now I can overfarm a bit, get to a Hydro Cannon, either take out the Azu or get their last shields here. So I'm going to charge this up, see what they do. They decide to let their Azu go down, and I wish I would have overfarmed a tiny bit more because a Machamp comes in and counters me down. Now, Skarmory should have a Sky Attack in the back, but I'm going to bring in my Whiscash because I want to threaten that shield, swap in the Skarmory, and then chuck a Sky Attack and one-shot the Machamp. So that's the plan there. They're throwing a charge move here. It's going to be a cross chop. I'm not too worried about the cross chop. Oh no, you know what it was? I shielded because I was a little worried it might be a close combat. That's what it was. And then they bring in their own Skarmory here and they chuck another charge move because they farmed up so much energy before. And this ends up being a Sky Attack. I end up farming up a little bit more energy, swapping into my Skarmory, and my Skarmory actually didn't have energy in the back, but I'm going to survive their charge move that they're going to throw here. And I'm going to be able to farm their Skarmory down to then have a Sky Attack ready. So I take down their Skarmory. There's not a lot of health left for that Machamp to farm, so I'm going to get off the Sky Attack. It'll threaten the shield. Because I left Whiscash in for an extra second, that was perfect because it's literally right at the Blizzard. So once Machamp takes my Skarmory down, I hit the Blizzard. Because it's a Shadow, it's a lot glassier than regular Machamp. Regular Machamp's pretty glassy. I don't really think it could survive a Blizzard, but this one definitely can't, and I'm able to take the match. Getting into this fourth match of the set, going up against Alan Air B. He's a local trainer from my area and he's highly skilled. So he also plays this match really well. So I win lead, which is nice. So I'm expecting an immediate swap because I have Skarmory on a shift tree. He does swap into his Defense Deoxys save swap, so I swap into Swampert, and Swampert should handle this just fine. So he's over farming quite a bit, and I'm just going to get to 2 Hydro Cannons, spam them both off. I'm hoping that one of them will get a shield so that I could use a shield of my own without having to worry about it. He didn't shield that one. Going for the second Hydro Cannon here, and we're going to find out if he decides to shield. Now, the reason why I'm worried is because I don't know the moveset of his Defense Deoxys. He doesn't shield, he's going for a charge move. If this is a Psycho Boost, 2 of them are not going to take out Swampert's health, at least I'm pretty confident they wouldn't. Ends up being a Rock Slide, and then he's able to counter away at me a bit, and now at this health, a Psycho Boost would take out my Swampert. So I'm worried he really thought into it, tried to bait with the weaker move even though Psycho Boost is more energy. And unfortunately it was just another Rock Slide, he's not even carrying Psycho Boost, and I use a shield there, which is crucial in this match. We're now waiting to see what he brings in. He actually brings in his Azu instead of his Shift Tree, because I'm assuming since, he knows of me, he probably knows my team, probably knows there's a Whiscash in the back, wants to try and save the Shift Tree for that. And I go for a Sludge Wave, hoping he wouldn't shield because I'm at a shield deficit, and the bait was super obvious, but he decided to shield anyway. I'm now going for a Hydro Cannon. At least I'll be able to put in some chip damage against his Azu, and then I can bring in my Whiscash to try and deal with this Azu, and then have my Skarmory lined up with his Shift Tree. So, going into my Whiscash, we're in a one shield situation, and I am worried about a Hydro Pump coming through. Whiscash is pretty fully healthy, has most of its health. I unfortunately didn't call the bait, ends up being a Hydro Pump. I also wanted to, save that shield in case of the situation where I need it for one of Shift Tree's moves. Potentially a Leaf Blade coming at the Whiscash would do more than a Hydro Pump. But now he decides to swap, and I'm able to line up my Skarmory with this Shift Tree nicely. Now we're in the one shield situation. I'm going to shield this because I'm expecting him to go for the foul play right away. Typically, you would bait a little bit later on in this type of matchup, and I'm expecting another foul play to come through right here. And he shouldn't really be that close to another charge move because the Shift Tree didn't farm up anything earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm farming up 2 Sky Attacks. I would love to farm it down, but that's just a little too risky. If another foul play comes through, I'm absolutely screwed. So I'm going for the first Sky Attack. He decides not to shield. It takes out a Shift Tree. The Azu's coming back in. I'm going for another Sky Attack here. This will either get the Azu really low or get his last shield. It gets his last shield, especially because the Sky Attack's going to do more damage than a Mud Bomb from my Whiscash. Now, the whole thing is here, and he also plays this really smart, is he can't bubble me down. So he goes for his charge move, Ice Beam, and he undercharges it because he's hoping he can then bubble me down from there. I realize that situation, bring in my Whiscash, go for the Mud Bomb. This will take out his Azu's remaining health, and considering the lead situation, he kept the match really close. GG's Alan Air. Getting into this 5th match of the set, we're going up against 89 Straw Hat Luffy, another well-known trader that I know of that's extremely skilled, and we have a Skarmory on Rainy Cast Form lead here. So, this isn't exactly a positive matchup for Skarmory, but with the Double Mudboy team, Skarmory's never meant to play out the lead completely, so it kind of works itself out. I do have to technically watch out for a Thunder, but again, Skarmory's not going to be staying in that long. So, I go for the Sky Attack here. He decides to not shield it, so I bring in Swampert, and the point is to lure out a potential grass type in the back. He hasn't swapped, and he's going for a charge move here. Ends up being a Weather Ball. If he goes for a Thunder, that would be single resisted because of Swampert's ground and water typing. And now I'm going for a Hydro Cannon, but the fact of the matter is he left in his cast form here, and that essentially tells me that he doesn't have a grass type in the back to deal with my Swampert. Either that or he knows what team I'm running, which is a potential possibility just because of the fact that we know of each other, and I use my Mudboys literally all the time. But regardless, I'm able to get to another Hydro Cannon here before he gets to the Weather Ball, and this should take out the Cast Form's remaining health. It does, and now he brings in a Skarmory, and Skarmory's not exactly a counter for Swampert, and I'm able to get to this Hydro Cannon, so this really just confirms my suspicion. There's no Grass type back there. Get the Hydro Cannon off, does about like 40% of Skarmory's health. He's able to farm me down, but because I got that Hydro Cannon off, I can bring in my Skarmory even at that energy disadvantage and be in a pretty good spot. So he's going for a charge move here. Should be a Sky Attack, but the way this is going to play out is the closer somebody's Skarmory is going to get to being dead, the more of a chance they're going to throw a Brave Bird instead of a Sky Attack, so I need to be cautious of that coming through. I throw my own Sky Attack, gets his Skarmory in the red, and because he has that energy, I'm fully expecting a Brave Bird to be coming as this charge move. So he's going for it, ends up being the Brave Bird. I survive it because it debuffs the Skarmory's defense by 3 stages. I was expecting a swap since he just threw it. So I bring in my Whiscash, the perfect time to deal with this Frostlass, as Frostlass doesn't get any extra energy. Whiscash can tank a Avalanche like you just saw there. Plus I have a shield, so the next Avalanche I can shield. And I should be able to get to 3 Mud Bombs, which will be enough to get his shield and take out his Frostlass. So I'm sitting in a pretty good spot here. The only thing I need to worry about is my Whiscash finishing off that Skarmory back there, because my Skarmory in the back has less health remaining than his Skarmory. And since he swapped out, it cleared the debuff of the 3 stages on his Skarmory. So I'm going for another Mud Bomb here. Gets the shield, but since I'm at 2, I probably should have overfarmed a little bit, considering the fact that my Whiscash needs to take out the Skarmory. But I was really worried about Frostlass getting off any more potential energy. And then the Skarmory comes back in, and I'm not able to Mud Shot it down, but I get to the Mud Bomb just in time to take out his Skarmory. And also, I guess it was pretty safe with my Whiscash. It just had to survive the quick attacks. He wasn't getting to another charge move since he just threw the Brave Bird. But either way, GG's, and we clinched our first set with the Mudboys now that all 3 leagues are back as a 4-1. Now, I'd be more hyped about that, but I did go on stream after this set and use my Mudboys for a couple more sets, and didn't have the same success, unfortunately. I'm starting to think that the metas are adapting to a point where my Mudboys aren't as viable. So, very sad news for me, but I still love my Mudboys, and no matter how much the meta adapts, the first day Great League is available at any portion, any season, I will still be spending using my Mudboys, even if I'm taking L's. So at this point, I don't know if I can recommend my Mudboys to you guys, but I hope you still enjoy the matches. I will be obviously working on playing with around more spice now. I've hit rank 10, a little bit less stress on me, but I will be working on figuring out meta Great League teams that are viable for you guys to have success with too. So please let me know what you think of my Mudboys. Have they fallen out of the meta? And let me know what Great League teams you're using these days. Either way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.